This is different, so I didn't quite know how to introduce it, but Lizzie and I have come to the conclusion that we do need to be a little more personal with you, all of you out there, because, we feel like we have hundreds and hundreds of friends. And what do you do when you get together with your friends? You sit down and you talk about what you're doing, where you're going, what's new. You catch up. And, if all you ever see is us behind a microphone with a guest, you never really know what's going on in our own lives. And I always want to know the people that I admire and the people that are working hard to bring me something important. So that's what this is. We're going to do that for you today.
And we're going to probably do more of this because it'll be fun. We'll give you more of the behind the scenes of everything going on, because we all have life happening. And right now, my plan of life is preparing to step out of my teaching job, my full-time teaching job, which is really scary. I'm almost 58 and I'm a sole supporter. So I'm really making what would you call an act of faith to step out and do something new and different, because we are growing. We are expanding. We are bursting at the seams with the time that we are able to input into our platform, Surviving Toxic Relationships with the Matadoras. Dina and I have been on this journey 3 years ago this month, but we definitely were in the talking stages. We've done a few recordings that we had not even released yet, because we are both women in midlife who have no idea what we are doing. I mean, I think about it, and we didn't know how to do a podcast. What does the recording look like? How do you edit? What does that look like? Where do you go? How do you upload it into all the Apple and Spotify? To some, that maybe seemed really easy, but for me and Dina, it was just like, we really had to learn. And then a website. And it's kind of funny because when we first started, Dina and I dressed up like Matadoras. We were going to use that in our whole marketing strategy until someone said, please don't. We've had people go, please don't. But you know what? We still kept the Matadora, and some of you may understand what that means, and the impact that has in the imagery, I believe, of a person who is trying to survive any type of toxic situation, and making people know that they're not alone. So as Dina and I are both exploding, we are still learning as we explode. We released one book. But when I formatted the book, I did it on a different platform that we had outgrown itself. So we have 2 books ready. We have the second book, For the Love with Eyes Wide Open, which is talking to the women and not the mothers to their daughters. Really excited about this book. That is the next one. We have the cover. We have everything done except the formatting. So I'm trying to learn in design in between working. I believe it's more of an anger book. Wouldn't you agree, Dina?
Lizzie really primarily wrote the first one, even though it was a joint effort. I primarily wrote the second one, even though it was a joint effort. And so the first book is obviously Mothers for Daughters, which is so vital. And there's really nothing out there like it to help your daughter avoid toxic relationships. The second one, though, is for women that are in these relationships or have come out of these relationships and they're still in that fog, they're still confused. Or even if you've been out of the relationship for 5 or 10 years and you just need to kind of understand, like unravel in your own mind, like, what was that? Where was it? Where am I in all this? What happened here? And the second book of Love with Eyes Wide Open, you'll have a personal antidote from Lizzie or I, or even a couple other people also contributed, a personal story of an example for that chapter. Like, for instance, one chapter is betrayal trauma, and you'll have a personal story about when I went through betrayal trauma and a day in the life, so to speak, and what it felt like and what I dealt with, and this very specific situation that happened for that time. And then it will take you through understanding what betrayal trauma is in all of its facets. It'll give you a little education module to where you can understand, you compare different aspects of betrayal trauma with something else. And then it comes to a point of giving you a personal affirmation for yourself regarding that trauma. And then there's a personal prayer. And then there's a group section. So if you want to do this with a friend, or if you want to do this with your church or anybody else, then there are group questions. You have a leader, a facilitator, ask questions of the group. after reading that chapter. And then there's a group prayer. So it really kind of just hits all of the boxes to where no matter what situation you're in, whether you're by yourself or not, it gives you tools and treasures, really, where you can actually start digging up things that have been buried because of all that's happened to you, and really start to get some aha moments and epiphanies. And even doing the research, it really was helpful. I found it helpful for myself to say, gosh, yes, this makes sense. This is why I did this. So I think they're both going to be great books and a great thing to have in your library.
I agree. And then we have another one, which is actually a devotional for people that are in toxic workplaces, and excited about that one as well. It's very personal, kind of has some of the same outline at the end, except for no group study. But in the beginning of each section or each day, it kind of gives you something to learn about. So sometimes we're in a workplace where you don't understand what you're dealing with. When you work a full time job and you have to clock in or you have to be there, as some of my coworkers say, they eat more meals with me than they do their own family. And that says a lot. So some people have to be staying in these seasons of a job that is so toxic, or it drains so much of their emotional energy because there's so much to unpack. Things that maybe you don't understand, things you don't see. So it's to help bring that clarity and how to power through it, and also giving you wisdom from God's word, a prayer as well, just to kind of help walk beside you as you go through this season. So we have a lot going on, and that's why I've decided to quit my job, which the scary part is I have 5 paychecks from today. 5 paychecks. Because as a teacher, we only get paid once a month. And some of you that are full-time teachers, you know what I'm talking about, or if you work for some other jobs that have that type of method of payment, it's like we always laugh. We're like, man, at the beginning of the month, I can take everybody out to lunch and dinner. By the end of the month, it's top ramen, it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But anyway, that's the existence. So when I count down and I'm like, I only have 5 paychecks left, it's a little concerning. I'm thinking, because there's no doubt in my mind that this is the next step that God has called me to do. But with it comes a walk of faith for sure, because this is something that I would not do as a single woman in midlife. I have to think of my retirement, which I will have a little bit of a pension from my teaching career. Maybe not as much to float me in the later years, but I'm not going to tap into that yet. So with that comes, okay, Lord, how does this look? I also need to be realistic. I am going to have to figure out my insurance, which I've looked at multiple different ways or different items or different things to hopefully help me get through. This will affect, I'm hoping to find a little 15 to 20 hour virtual job so I can go everywhere, because I recently bought an SUV and I plan to get a trailer. I'm looking at several different types of trailers, the new Camp Tab 360, and I'll show images here so you know what I'm talking about. And then a casita trailer. The problem with the casita trailer is that I will have to drive to Texas, Rice, Texas, to pick it up. But for the price, the quality, and just how lightweight it is, might be the route I go, but I don't know. I have a Ford Liberty, and that I can easily maintain on my own as a single midlife person. I'm already nervous about the idea of backing up. So I have a lot of new stuff on the horizon. I currently had to transition out of my apartment, which was really hard. I moved in with my son, one of my other sons, but moving out of the apartment, and it was only 1 bedroom, I had a lot of stuff. And knowing that I'm going to be moving into a trailer in my near future, there's not a lot of stuff I can take. I got rid of so much stuff, and some of the stuff I had to get rid of. Like, I wasn't ready to let it go, but I didn't need it. I kept things that were, as we know, especially midlife, we have kids, we have grandkids, we have things that you can't replace. And so I've stashed things in 3 of my son's garages. So I mean, eventually I hope to have it in one place, but at least I'm not paying for storage at this time. And after my last divorce, 19, I had to start over then too. And it's amazing that starting over and having to figure out what things look like, I realized I made it through last time. So we'll kind of talk about some of my transitions and I'll keep you guys updated on which trailer I get. But me and my son and his family were getting along. I moved in, they were gracious enough to let me move in with them with my dog Benji. That's one day at a time. Tina and I, we're getting ready right now, actually, to go on a trip next week.
Yeah, we are excited about our trip. It's going to be a kick because we did this last year. We went to a book writers conference in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it was such a wonderful experience. We met so many women that obviously weren't there because of toxic relationships. They're there because they're writing a book or they're aspiring to write a book. And they have publishers and they have agents and they have all kinds of people there that you get to affiliate with and learn from. And the classes are fantastic. But the one thing that we weren't expecting was how many women there have been in or have somebody very close to them in a toxic relationship. We were floored. I mean, it got to the point where we would walk into a class and I heard a woman whisper to someone next to her, those are two ladies that were married to the same narcissist. And they did it. And I mean, we could hear women talking about us. We'd go sit down at lunch and women would come and sit next to us and say, we need to hear more. Tell us more. It was absolutely incredible.
In fact, I still have goosebumps because this was a huge transition for both Dina and I because we were really struggling with what we were supposed to do with this platform. It doesn't matter if you're faith-based or whatever, it can benefit everybody. But we also knew we were at the cusp of, do we keep going? When you say, like, we were just completely flatlined. And so we decided to go to this conference together. And like Dina said, we realized God used that moment to open our eyes and say, you are needed. Dina and I were so humbled.
Yeah, it was a pretty amazing experience. And since then, we've been nominated for a Selah Award, which honestly, you all, before this conference, I didn't even know what that was. But it really is a very prestigious award for our podcast. And we went ahead and submitted for this award a couple of months ago. And we go to this writing conference and they announce the winner there because it's one of the largest book writer conferences in the whole United States for the Christian faith-based genre. So the Selah Award is a wonderful thing, and just being nominated, they give you a gold seal to show that you're nominated because it's that big of a deal. So we will be finding out at this conference if we got the award, which is so wonderful. But even if we didn't, just being nominated was such an honor. So there's some amazing things happening. You know, Lizzie getting her own home for the first time in her life. I mean, you wouldn't think anybody would be 58 and have never owned their own home, but that's how bad these toxic relationships were. She didn't even get to buy a home with anybody. So this will be her own little, portable home that she gets to drive around and take anywhere she wants. And yeah, we're moving forward, ladies. We're going to be starting a women's group. We're going to be having you and your friends come and join us. It will be as low cost as possible. That way it's not a big burden, but every week we're going to have an amazing topic and you'll be in the comfort of people who've been there and get you. And it'll be like looking in a mirror. And it doesn't matter if you've been out of a toxic relationship for 30 years, this will benefit you. And it doesn't matter, like Lizzie said, if you are not a faith-based person, it's still going to help you. So we want you there. We want to welcome any of you. And we feel like you're going to get an amazing healing through this time. We have some really great topics prepared for you. We also do individual coaching. So if you need individual life coaching where you just don't want to be in a group, we can do that for you. Yeah. So big things coming on the horizon. We're super excited. We cannot wait to get to know more of you personally. And I think that's where we're at. Anything else, Lizzie?
No, I'm excited. Dina and I don't always have a lot of time that we get to spend together. in the same locations. And next Saturday, Dina and I will fly in from different places into Asheville, North Carolina, and we'll be able to spend a couple of days before the conference. But we'll definitely keep you guys looped in to all the fun and the activities as it's coming along, and hope you feel like you're a part of it, because every single one of you that are watching this, if you've followed us or you've been a part of us, I feel like there are no words to really express our gratitude, but I cannot thank you enough that you take the time to be a part of our community, and your voice matters. We would love to know if there's like a topic or something that you would like for us to talk about in the future. Please let us know, because we know there's so many people going through different things in life. And whether it's family toxic relationships, work toxic relationships, a spouse toxic relationship, even our own adult children. So what does that look like? And we have a heart. That's why we liked the Surviving Toxic Relationships title, because it's not just a partner. We know that toxicity happens in many different ways, and boundaries obviously look different in those different scenarios. So if you guys have some thoughts or feelings or something you would like, just let us know. We'll be happy to try it.
All right. Sounds good, everybody. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you know that you are not crazy, and that you are not losing your mind, and that you are not alone, and that everybody that has been through this understands, and they care about you, and we care about you, and you are deeply, deeply loved.
Have a good day.